cuckoo.
This is Ronnie, standing in my garage. So, we are working on the 302 again today. 302 is for this over here. Check this out.
Is it a Toyota Corolla?
This is going to be my dedicated drift car. Boom. 88 Fox body. It's got a 4-cylinder in it right now, but hopefully we can get this 302 put together fairly swiftly and get it in the car. Today we're going to be doing bearings and bearings.
Mm-hmm. Do you have RTV?
Yes.
Did
I
your
think so.
gasket kit come with some?
I don't know. I can look. I think I do have RTV
Okay.
though.
Anyways, the plan is to put the bottom end together, which is together, like it's together, but we're replacing all the bearings, right, in the rods. And then we took this main cap off, so we have to torque it.
So we're just doing some bearings and some torquing today. Did we want to get the oil pan on?
Yeah,
today?
we'll get the oil pan on.
Get the oil pan on. So
I
we
wonder
can...
what this hole's for.
What hole is that?
I don't know. It goes nowhere. You see it? It just goes straight through.
We do see it.
Weird.
There's a hole over there. It just
It just goes
goes
nowhere.
through. It's for nothing.
Yeah, look, here's another one. I wonder what goes there.
I look at this and I have no idea what I'm looking at. Like, I know that I'm looking at pistons and an engine block and bearings and like I know where everything goes, but you know, like I don't know how to attack this thing, how to start doing this. So Ronnie's my expert. Right, Ronnie?
The best thing
Expert.
to do. Yeah, exactly. Best thing to do, in my opinion, is to put this in the junk pile and just buy you a crate motor and don't deal with any of this.
A crate LS, right?
Any crate motor, just something that's already together and complete and you don't got to worry about it. Maybe
Yeah.
comes with a warranty. All right, for the 5th time now.
Okay. Action. Okay, so what we did, we took the nuts off right here and we're just going to pull this cap off. Okay? These things don't always want to come off because the bearings, they get set in there and everything's kind of in place and it's there for a long time. So sometimes they don't want to come off. Like,
And the oil kind of gets like suctioned on
yeah,
there too.
this one came off pretty good.
Yeah, that one was
but
pretty easy.
the bearing actually looks pretty good, but we're going to replace them regardless. But if you get one that doesn't want to come off, well, this one wants to come off too. But if you get one that doesn't want to come off, you can kind of tap. You take the back side of a hammer. Never take your metal hammer to an engine like this. But you take the back side of your hammer and you just tap on the bolt right there, and it'll pop it loose just like that. It's super simple.
Yep.
It rarely takes any more than that, just a little tap. We're going to get
Now
these
look,
off.
we are not engine builders, and we don't know the answers to your guys' questions. Like, you guys ask us some technical questions. We don't know because we don't know your engine. Like, we know this engine because we've gone through and we've done all the things to find out about this engine. You have to do that. So if you don't know, like, what standard means or 20 over or 50 over or whatever, like, just take it to a machine shop. Like, we can't answer that question because we don't know about your specific engine.
And if you just have to build your engine yourself, then you've got some reading to do.
Yeah.
Lots of reading, lots of research. That's what we do, and so that's what you should be doing. Okay, so this one's off. That one's off. We're going to get these out of here. We're going to flip this way.
Oh, hold on, I wasn't shooting that. Put it back in. Redo it.
Are we shooting? Like,
It's
are we
shooting,
ready?
but I was looking
My
at your
goodness.
face.
Okay, so pull this cap off, and you should be able to just push your bearing out like that.
Yeah, that's really
And then
easy.
boop. But they're in there with some kind of pressure, so they're not just going to fall out. When you replace them, you want to make sure you line this up with this right here. Like, it's almost impossible to
little
get this
tang.
wrong. It's almost impossible to get this wrong. But like, that thing goes in that little groove
This
right there.
this part is almost impossible. Putting this on correctly with your rod, very easy to get
Yeah,
mixed.
it is. It is because, I mean, you just look at it and it looks like it just about fits anywhere. But they're marked.
Yeah, these
like
ones
this
are
one's-
marked. That's number 8, which is here.
This is number 8.
Boom.
That's got number 8. And you just put the 8s together, like 8 and 8 right here. And it'll always be facing the right
Well,
way.
hopefully, because whoever took it apart and rebuilt it. Hopefully they marked it right.
These are King bearings. King.
Dang, burr.
Burr. I want to say I got them off like Summit.
All right, all right.
Or maybe Amazon. I don't really know.
They came off the internet, is what he said.
They definitely came off the internet. And they're difficult to open. That is a thing also.
Look at this.
I got it. I'm strong. Look at that. I got one out. I got another one out. Okay. When you look at bearings, like when we took the bearings out of here, they had markings on them. And like they'll always have markings on them. This one right here, that's the King bearing symbol right there. That's a K. I thought it was an IC, but I looked online. It's a K. But it's got the part number and everything. And this right here, this 010, means that it's 10 over. That means this crank has been turned down 10/1000ths of an inch. So that's something you have to pay attention to. If you're having machine work done, taking 10/1000ths off, your machinist, he'll tell you what he did to the crank, and he'll tell you what size bearings you need.
Yep.
Like that is a thing. They will tell you that.
You should measure the thickness of this bearing and the thickness of your rod and your cap together and the measurement of your crankshaft here to make sure that they all add up to not the exact same number, and then you have some clearance in between them.
You definitely need clearance. Your machinist can also tell you what kind of clearance it should have. This is a pretty common motor, so like a machine shop would probably know. But yeah. Yeah.
Save you a
That's
lot
probably
of
the best way to go is take your motor to somebody and say, here, have this money and this motor, do this.
And it's usually not that expensive.
Yeah, no, not really.
We built my motor because it's something that we wanted to do. Like, I wanted to build my motor. So I did all this research. We talked to Dave at the machine shop, and like we learned a lot from him and a lot from the internet to get that motor built. And we still didn't build it right. The motor's a little tight. We probably should have had the crank turned a little bit more.
On your KA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The clearance was a little tight, but it is what it is. This motor, we're just going back with exactly what came out. So we're not measuring it because it was done by somebody else and they checked the clearances. And that's not always the right way because this set of bearings could be thicker than the last. But we went with Kings. Kings came out. Like, that's what we're doing. Exact same part number back in.
Yep. That's exactly what we're doing. Okay, watch this. I like doing this, so watch this again.
Hold on.
Ready? Yeah. Boop. I love that. They just like push right out. It's nice.
Satisfying.
And then we're going to put it right back in there. And when you put it, like I said, they're under pressure, so you line it up with this notch right here. You take that, put that in there, and it should just like drop right in. You just pop it in. Whoop.
That's fine. Just push this side down.
You just push it in, and then you push it down, and it goes around, and you just get it kind of even.
Yep. You want it to be pretty flat here.
Yep. And then when you put them on, and you tighten them down, they'll match up and even out and all that. But it's that easy. It's that super simple. But those bearings, these bearings had about 500 miles on them.
Look at this.
Not much at all, but that's a good looking bearing.
It has like those 3 little dots in there.
3 little dots. What dots?
Yeah, look. See them right there?
What are those for?
I don't know. They're weird. You can't feel them.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if they're in. Isn't that weird?
That is weird. Huh.
I don't know.
Whatever. We don't need that. My bearing.
Junk. That's not the junk pile. I put the junk pile.
Oh, crap. Junk pile.
Jeez.
Over here. We're very professional here in the loser's garage.
This is our clean room.
Yeah.
We build engines.
This is our clean room where we build engines right here. There's like animal hair and bugs all over everything. It's awesome. And you want to tap this down, but you don't want to tap it down so far that the piston comes out of the hole unless you have a really good piston ring compressor and you're really good at putting pistons back in. But it is a pain in the ass, even with a piston ring compressor to put pistons back in their respective holes. So we're just going to tap this down, but not so far that it comes out of the daggum hole. We want to get it down just so we can get the bearing off. Let me know when I'm flush.
And you want to try not to let the stud hit that. That's good.
Whatever. I don't know what that means.
But it's okay. It doesn't matter a whole lot. We don't care. This is not rocket science. We're not building a race car.
We're building a drift car, and everybody knows that drift cars are janky. So
if you want to have like your buddy hold your your shaft head over here.
Don't be touching my shaft.
To keep it
Ronald.
from coming out.
All right.
While
They're really
playing
easy
with
to
the
get out.
base.
I don't need to show you how to get this out, but you definitely don't want the piston coming out of the hole. That's the thing. That's the takeaway from all this joking around. Okay, we're putting this last cap on. And I just want to stop and let everybody know that while we were putting these caps on, we were lubing and everything, we were all kind of having a conversation about cars that we like, about opinions, about speed and power and all this kind of stuff. And Ronnie had to stop me probably 3 times because I was to make sure that we were putting the rod cap on the right way or that the bearing was in the right way. He stopped me one time because I didn't lube one of the bearings. So when you're doing this, try to focus, you know? I know probably most of our viewers, like us, probably have ADHD. But try to, because car guys are like that. But yeah, try to focus and just, there's 8 rod caps here, and there's what, 5 main caps? Yeah, 8 rod caps and 5 main caps. If you can just concentrate just long enough to get those done, you're good. You're good. So we're finishing up. We're going to torque this last set. Ronnie was about to say something, and I interrupted him.
But it's also nice to have somebody like with you, just double checking everything you're doing.
Yep.
And just being like, hey, you know, and just 2 sets of eyes are always better than 1.
There is a space right there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Okay, let me back this off. We probably just destroyed this engine, so we'll be back in a minute. All right, so last night you saw me and Ronnie and Ted, and we were like working on this, like trying to get this worked out. We got to the last bearing cap, and it was going on kind of stiff. We took it back off, and we realized that we had spun, when we were putting it on, we were rotating the crank, and we had spun one of the bearings out, and it made some marks on the crankshaft right here. You can probably see them. Let me see here. See those marks right there? Right there. If you look, you can see them. See them? Anyways, they're not super, like, they don't stand up, and they're not super jagged. By the way I'm talking, you can probably tell where this is going. I don't want to take this crankshaft out, and I don't want to take it back to the machine shop to get it turned. So what I'm going to do is something that me and Ronnie saw somebody do on YouTube. Basically what they did is they took like a shoestring, or I think they used a shoestring, but you can use just about any kind of like piece of cloth or whatever. And you wrap it around the crankshaft a little bit, and you just kind of floss it. And what it's going to do is going to smooth out like any high points without taking significant amount of metal off of the crankshaft. I don't think this is like a professional thing that people do. It doesn't sound very professional, but that's what I'm doing because I don't feel like doing machine work. I'm going to select from these bearings that I took out, which do only have about 400 to 500 miles on them. I'm going to find me a decent bearing in there and put it in place of the one that we took out, because the one that we took out, the little locator thing, that little locator piece right there was smashed all the way down. That's what made the marks on the crankshaft. So I'm just going to find a decent bearing and we'll make it work. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I don't want to use something seriously abrasive, so I'm just going to use this rag right here. I'm going to cut a strip out of it, and I'm going to wrap it around the journal, and I'm just going to floss it real good for, I don't know, a few minutes or something. I don't know. This is like soft enough where it won't take significant material off the crank, and it's abrasive enough that it'll probably, you know, knock down any high points we have on the crank there. Like when I run my fingers over them, they don't feel super high, but I want to do, you know, I want to do something. I don't just want to leave it, so that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, I got my strip cut out. I'm going to wet the middle of it, the part that I'm using, with motor oil. so it's not super dry. And we're going to start flossing. Let me get this around here. Don't worry. This is not the dumbest thing I've ever done. I've done lots of dumber things. So I'm just going to do it like this. This is what we're doing. I have no idea what we were talking about before this. I know we were talking about having to go get some bolts for the front cover, or maybe we weren't talking about it. Anyways, it's been a couple of weeks. Me and Ronnie have been trying to finish this video forever.
We've tried to get together at least like 2 or 3 times.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Today almost didn't happen.
But so what we had to do is we were going to get the front timing cover on, and we just needed some bolts, and we needed some spray adhesive to keep the gasket in place. So that's what we're doing today, and we're going to finish this video. It's going to be a really short ending for as long as it's been to get all this stuff like together and whatnot. So that's what we're doing right now.
We're going to show you guys a really useful trick.
Useful trick
to putting gaskets on and not having to like try to hold them in place. Like when you put a water pump on a front cover, all that kind of stuff. If it's a paper gasket, this is a really good way to attach it not permanently and without RTV, because this dries way faster.
And I will be learning along with you guys because Ronnie's the teacher. So here's what we're doing. We're taking this gasket right here. Does the flat side go to the engine, or does it go to this?
It doesn't matter,
okay.
Except for however the bolt pattern lines up, because it's only going to go on.
Oh, that makes sense. So it goes like this.
It goes like that.
So,
right here.
Okay.
Is this?
Oh, right on. There it is. Okay, so there and there and there. Okay, so which side do I spray? I got my spray adhesive. I've got 3M Super 77 Multi-Purpose Adhesivo Multi-Uso, which is either Spanish or Italian. I have no idea.
3M, sponsor us.
Yeah, dude, 3M, sponsor us. So which side do I spray?
Okay.
Am I sticking it to this, or am I sticking it to the engine?
No, you're going to stick it onto the cover.
Okay, awesome.
So we're going to flip it over, and you're going to spray a little bit on here and a very, very light coat, because we're not trying to actually adhere it to it permanently. We're just trying to hold it there for 2 seconds.
Okay,
and then
cool.
a real light coat on the part as well. Do you want to spray it on your concrete?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay. Yep.
And then here's some here?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And then just line it up.
Oh, it is sticky. My goodness. Nobody told me adhesive would be sticky. Wow. And now I guess we just stick it to the thing.
Yep, put it on.
This is Ronnie's trick for like lining up gaskets so they don't fall off and you don't have to mess with them over and over again. And it should just go right on like this. Little dowels line up. Get in there, son. There it goes. I'm guessing this is one of the shorter ones here. These are 5/16 bolts, by the way. I should probably put washers right there. Don't you think, or no?
I mean, it's up to you.
That's funny. This one goes here.
What we're trying to do, guys, is we're trying to get the oil pan on. And we have to have the front cover on. And so as long as it's tight here with these four, like it'll be good, and then we can trim the gasket and get all that squared up.
So I'm just going to snug these a little bit, just so we can get the oil pan on, just so it holds it in place. And get the oil pan on, and we can shave these little bits right here. Okay, that's good, and that's good, I think.
Looks like an old school V8.
What's that?
Old school V8? Old school V8.
Yeah, dude. All right, so I need a razor. There we go. If you don't keep razors around your shop, you should. Razors are super useful for all kinds of stuff, especially stuff like this.
That's good enough.
Is it?
Yeah, you're gonna use RCV to make it square.
Oh, right on.
We need to put in the rubber seals that go here. So this is another interesting thing about Fords. Has a separate seal here and here versus the rest of the pan gasket. Unless you get a real high dollar one, that'll then be like the whole thing. We're at the point we figured out what gaskets we're using because Beau got a kit that worked with like 302s and 351s.
Yeah.
So now what we're gonna do, because this front cover is separate from the block, we have to put some RTV here on both sides. And then it uses these seals here. So we're gonna put some RTV in these setups here so that this rubber seal seals to that gasket like that. You wanna kind of put a lot.
Right on.
You kind of just wanna put a bead because it's two separate height of decks.
Okay.
And so you just want, like you're probably fine there, it's thick enough. But over here, just like run a bead on there.
Okay.
And then with the pressure of the pan, it's just gonna even it out. Yeah,
Like
so
that.
that's fine.
Okay.
And then just put like a decent sized glob into there. Yeah, stick the nose in and just give it a little squeeze. Yep, and just do that on all 4 spots.
And where's this one right here?
And so start in a corner and try and get that down in there.
Okay.
And then work it around and then try and shove the other side in.
Okay.
I don't understand why Ford like did this style, but it's what you got.
It is very strange. It is very strange.
And GM and Dodge could be the same. I don't know. I've only messed with like older Fords at work.
That's why you hate Fords so much.
They're a pain in the ass.
Because you've messed with them more than anything else.
No, I've worked on like more Dodge vehicles,
Oh, really?
but newer stuff. But Fords are just not friendly to work on.
There she is. Isn't that what you're supposed to say? There she is. I mean, she's upside down, and there's Ronnie.
It's
Right
a start.
Right side up. Right on. We're missing a couple bolts. We're missing 2 up front, 1 here, 1 here.
4 bolts.
Missing 4 bolts. I don't know where they went. Whatever. Maybe they're in the crankcase somewhere. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? So that's it for this video. We got the bottom end all tightened up. We got the front cover on, the timing cover on. We got the oil pan on. And
I
yeah.
taught you a cool trick.
Yeah, and we learned some cool tricks. Thanks, Ronnie, for the cool tricks.
So that's bottom end done, right?
Bottom end done. What's next? We're gonna try to get the heads on, or what?
Yeah, heads, camshaft, timing.
Yeah, get the lifters in and the
That
push
stuff.
rods and
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah, so look for that next time. Until then,
Well, timing's done. We don't have to do timing.
that's nice that we don't have to do timing, because timing always sucks.
We never took the chain off.
Is timing pretty easy on old V8s like this?
Well, I mean, same as everything else. Line up the marks and put it together.
Oh,
There's
nice.
no tension or anything.
Oh,
you like
okay.
you put the gears on at the same time. So you time them outside and then you into the keyways.
Well, that sounds super easy.
So, yeah.
Well, that's it.
All right, bye.
So look for us next time. Yeah, like Ronnie said. Bye.